Talk Nelson Radio. It's the Talk of Nelson. Sport. The Mako Rugby Roundup.
You're with the Mako Rugby Roundup, and it's time for our very special guest. It's our pleasure to welcome Andrew Goodman to the podcast. Goody is Mako 33, and he played 55 games, a former captain and premiership-winning co-coach in 2019 and 20. So, firstly, mate, let's talk about your latest news. You're off to Leinster as assistant coach after being in the Crusaders coaching setup and since 2018, in actual fact. So, making that decision must have caused you some sleepless nights. Is that right?
Yeah, definitely. Good morning, lads. There was a few sleepless nights, and there was a big decision for not only myself but the family as well. So, a lot of discussions went into it with some people I really trust, and the Crusaders were massive for me, actually. Both Scott Robinson and Angus Gardner down there were a big support and a part of my decision-making process. And at the end of the day, it was just an opportunity for me to grow in a new role and go and experience a different brand of footy, and hopefully, keep developing me as a coach moving forward.
What is that role, Goody? What have you got to do over there?
So I'll be going into, the coaches group runs a little bit different over there, so I'll be going into a role where I'll be working a bit on both sides of the ball, attack and defence, and looking after the backs as well. So, it's going to be a cool challenge. There's some amazing players at Leinster at the moment that are doing some pretty good things. So as a club, they're in a good spot, and looking to go over there and add a little bit of my flavour into that mix.
Who's your head coach?
Leo Cullen is head coach over there. He was my captain actually when I was back playing for Leinster 10 years ago. So I got to know Leo pretty well. In my second year there, we were unfortunately both on the injured list for most of the year, and we spent a lot of time next to each other on the watt bike. So he's a good man, and look forward to reconnecting with him. Yeah,
so you did go there for a couple of seasons, didn't you, in 2012? So. The town and the club, what were they like, and were they a big factor in you deciding that you'd like to head back there?
Yeah, well, so for those that don't know, Leinster is actually based in Dublin there, so it's a pretty awesome place in the world. Good city, lots going on, and the club itself, Leinster, is amazing setup. After being at the Crusaders and Leinster, it's a very much similar kind of club with a great academy that they run there. They're a real homegrown player base. A lot of their players come through the Leinster Academy and the Leinster school system, so they're real proud Leinster Dublin community club, and they've got massive support over there. Like you've got 20-odd Irish players, and when they're away playing for Ireland test matches, and the academy boys or the lads that probably haven't had much opportunity come in and get to play, they'll still be selling out their home ground in the middle of winter over there. It's real passionate support base over there, so it'll be awesome to get back there and play in front of some full stadiums and some hopefully some big games.
And you get to join James Lowe, do you not?
Yeah, caught up with J Lo yesterday for a brew, so to get the run of the land and how things are going over there. So exciting to reconnect with him. We've had a pretty long history together, going back to year 9 at Nelson College. So it's going to be good to work alongside J Lo again.
Pretty exciting times for him. We saw how good the Irish were this month, and what did you think, Goody? Were they better than you had expected?
Oh, it was some amazing football, as you said. Like some of the patches of rugby they played, high tempo, decision making was right on point, collision work. It was awesome to watch. Obviously, as an All Blacks fan, it was tough to watch, but as a rugby fan, some of the work done on both sides of the ball was pretty special to see. Was it a surprise? No, I don't think so. I think they've been building really, really nicely the last couple of seasons. Andy Farrell's obviously doing an amazing job there. They've had the benefit of consistency of selection, and some of their key leaders, Johnny Sexton, etc., playing some of the best footy of their life. So they're going to be a real force moving forward over the next couple of years as well, because they've got a pretty young squad that are going to be around together for a couple more years.
Yeah, I'd imagine you're going to look forward to coaching and talking with Johnny Sexton when you're at Leinster. That would be awesome to have a guy like him running the cutter for your club.
Yeah, he's an amazing person. He's going to be turning 38, I think, next year, and to play the footy he is at the moment. Well, yeah, I remember obviously playing with him a long time ago, and then he was, playing some good footy. He's a demanding 10 who expects those around him to be nailing their roles, and he drives really high standards, and he can do that when he's playing the way he is. So, definitely looking forward to linking back up with him and chewing the fat, because he's obviously a really smart operator.
Goody, you made your debut for the Tasman Mako in 2006 and stayed until the end of 2009, and then you went overseas to Japan. And at that time, the NZR were talking about kicking Tasman out of the comp. So did that have a bit of a bearing on your decision?
Oh yeah, it was probably the main thing, really. It was, most of us thought we'd played our last game against Wellington at Lansdowne Park that year. It was a special game, that one. Like the crowd really came out and supported us. Although we didn't get the win, we put in a pretty good performance against a really strong Wellington team at that stage. Went into that next few days kind of not knowing what was going to happen. Myself and a couple of others had signed contracts to go elsewhere, and then kind of the decision flipped around. So it was a bit of a hard time, but I look back at that time and grateful for the experience I got over in Japan at that stage. And I was only away for a year, and then just come back home and find my way back to the mighty Tasman Mako. As I did it every time I went away, I always managed to find my way back home. It was a hard place to leave, so it was good experience for me, the Japanese year. And but really grateful that New Zealand Rugby came around and found some sense, and we got the right decision in the end.
Well, a key driver in them making sense and getting us back in the comp was your own dad, John Goodman. He was a key driver in the Save Our Mako campaign, and he must have been delighted that, bit sad that you weren't there, but delighted that the team was playing again in 2010.
Yeah, a lot of emails and phone calls made from the Goodman household to NZRU quarters during that period. So he was pretty relentless in his pursuit to pester and get his point across. And I know, just like so many in the region, he was just really passionate and had seen what the Tasman Mako was doing for our community. So grateful for everyone through that time that helped keep the Mako going, because it's, as we see now, what an amazing thing it's been for young kids around our region, and everyone around our region, really, to support a team that's been successful, but to give those kids an opportunity to fulfill their dreams, not having to move anywhere else.
Mate, I just what I got the chance to tell you, you wouldn't have known this, but your dad filled in for a year at higher school and taught me. He took over from Tony Walsh, who he knew very well. Tony was a Wakatu and Nelson cricketer. I think, not too sure, did your father play cricket?
Yeah,
as well, so they might have been in the same club, and went on trips away together, and he taught our school for a year. And I tell you what, mate, just a top bloke. Fond memories of your father.
Yeah, it's amazing how many lives around the region he's been involved with today through the rugby, cricket, and teaching. Get people still coming up to me now and sharing yarns about Dad, which is cool.
Yeah.
Goody, a quick flashback before we move forward. 2009. Against Auckland at Trafalgar Park, you became the first Mako to throw up a fin after scoring a try. Now, what inspired you to do that?
Yeah, there's a bit of a story to it, Lee. A bit of a story. Like, firstly, I was just lucky to be the first person to score a try after we'd had the discussion. So,
right,
could have been any one of us, really. So the Nelson Bays Griffin was going pretty strong. That couple of years before that, there was Blair Cook and Khan and a few of these boys that have been scoring tries on the regular, that have been getting the Griffin up. And it was a TJ actually at one of the Lansdowne Park games. We were playing Waikato that year over at Lansdowne Park, and he said to me before the game, "What's up with all these? What's up with all the Griffins? Where's any Red Devils going around?" And I thought, if I score a try today, TJ, I'll get a Red Devil up for you. Me and Joey Wheeler were talking. And I actually scored a try that day and did the Red Devil, much to the disgust of some of my Nelson Bays
and
family.
Your dad.
But got that out there, which was probably the lead. After that game, we just kind of thought around what TJ had said and how we could get something that was going to be just for us, We've been together for 3 years now, and the kind of Nelson Bay's Marlborough thing needed to go, and we needed to come up with our own thing. And I think it was probably over a few jars that we decided that a shark, if fins up, might be a good thing to go with. And yeah, as I said, lucky to get that first try after that discussion, and the rest is history. I think having us, a couple of us around the schools as rugby development officers and stuff after that kind of time helped out. We really drove it around the schools and got the kids onto it, and it's just growing, and it's something that's pretty special now.
Well,
Isn't it?
It certainly has. You see it at Super Rugby, at Test level rugby.
Yeah.
It's amazing, and of course, it's inspired our new Be a Fanatic ownership club. So, mate, you've started something huge.
I think Jonathan Poff actually back in 2006 had done like a shark celebration. It wasn't a fins up. It was kind of more of a. You have to find it, mate. It was pretty cool little celebration as well. We had a double arm movement kind of going with a bit of a fin thing going in there. So I think he has to take some credit in the progression into the fins up over the head probably as well.
Let's talk about coaching. In 2015, you had a role at Nelson College, and then in 2016, you became the assistant coach of the Mako under Leon McDonald. Talk us through some of the guys you work with before becoming co-head coach in 2019.
Yeah, really fortunate that I took the hint from Leon back then. He was, I was still actually hoping to play for Tasman, and he kind of gave me the, "Do you want to come and coach?"
Did you want to come and help me out, mate?
Yeah, I'm pretty keen to have another year, and he said again, "Do you want to come and coach?" So after 2 or 3 times, I took the hint, and grateful that I did. Still managed to get a year of club footy in there that year for Nelson Rugby Football Club and get my 100-game blazer, which was a special year. But yeah, to start coaching with Leon, we had Mark Hammett involved that year as well, which was awesome. Hammer came in with lots of energy. Alongside Leon, were a massive part in the change of our momentum into starting to get those finals results, and just the professionalism both those guys brought to our union was massive. And both awesome players in their time that had successful careers with Crusaders and into the All Blacks. They're a real high performance mindset. So we've talked about it a lot. We always had an awesome off-field culture at Tasman. There's always been a good connection. The boys have always got along well. Hunting, fishing, cafes, everything like that. All those little things off-field help with our off-field stuff. But it was just the on-field we just hadn't quite nailed yet. And guys like KK, who started it, then Leon and Hammer, and those guys took it to a next level, which was awesome. Yeah, obviously with Durmo came in again, just to have his eye over the forward pack, and the work he did was massive. We saw so much growth over the couple of years that Durmo was here, and the work he's done with our pack, which Dan Perrin's carrying on with now, has been a big reason why the Mako team's been successful as well.
And of course there was Shane Christie teaching the boys how to defend.
It was one of the biggest swings I've seen in a defensive unit, really. The year before, I think our points conceded per game would have been high 20s, early 30s. First year Shane came in, just demanded so much from the boys, put so much effort in, not only to our team structure around the defence, but individually with boys around their tackle technique and just understanding of the system. And he was tireless with his work, and he got the points conceded down to under 15 or something, which is unheard of in the game of rugby these days. It was pretty special to see just the effort and work he put into that defence, and some of the values he grew around not only our defence but our team. He's got massive mana throughout the Mako history. Really, is one of the guys, when you think about the Mako, that he'll always be a big part of the history. So he did an amazing job.
Yeah, he's certainly one of the toughest and staunchest rugby players we ever had, and his mana off the field was a result of that. Then the three of you, of course, in 2019, there was you, Derms, and Chow, and you actually achieved the Holy Grail. You got through 2019 undefeated and won our first ever premiership. Man, you must have been stoked when that happened.
Yeah, it was a good moment, Les. It was a really good moment. there was a few nervous moments along the way, especially that semi-final over in Blenheim. We obviously had a really good run against Auckland during the year, 40-0 at T Park. One of our pretty better performances in the Mako history, but we knew they were going to be a different beast in the semi-final. They played some good games coming into that game, and oh man, there was some heart rate was up around 180. I think the whole time up in the box I was sweating, and it was some big moments, some big plays. That still remember Dave Havili's tackle on Rayasi in the far left-hand corner, just to get him out, I think it was the boot just touched, and any other day it could have probably been, could have been a try. So there was a couple of big moments in there, and to get through to that final and to play the way we did, and on the night it was a beautiful night at Trafalgar Park. Couldn't have asked for a better night, better backdrop. The crowd came in, and it was just pure happiness. I think I said after the final, it was could die a happy man. After that, it was something awesome to tick off with this pretty special group.
Well, I have to say the whole town was happy with you, and the celebrations afterwards was awesome. And then, of course, you went and replicated the whole thing in 2020, not undefeated, but, beating Auckland up there in the final and securing a successive premiership trophy. Just wonderful times for Tasman Mako players and fans.
Yeah, that was different year, that one. There was a lot more ups and downs. Didn't run as smooth as the 2019 season, but I think the win in 2019 still gave that group the belief that they could beat anyone. And again, some special performances in the final when we lost our quarterback Hunty early on in the game, and Tim O'Malley stepped in. But the leadership that Dave Havili took in kicking some big goals and making some big plays again, and that was huge for us. And to win away at Eden Park, it's pretty special. There's not many teams that go up there and get wins in finals away from home, so that was cool. And the cool thing about it was the amount of supporters that had come up from Tassie, or the supporters that lived up in Auckland that were there in red and blue and cheering us. It was pretty cool.
Good stuff. Hey, thank you, Andrew. We really appreciate your time with us. Great stories, great memories, and it's not over yet. Off to Ireland to work with the Leinster Club, and I'm sure we'll see you back on these shores. Yeah. No, I'll definitely be back at some stage, and as I said earlier, looking forward not only for myself but the family and the adventure we're going to be having over the next couple of years. And definitely it's going to be a hard one. It has been, even being back this week, to be here but not be involved with the Tassie crew, but going to be right behind them and watching all the games and shouting at the screen and hoping they can hear the positive vibes coming from Ireland.
Well, we wish you and your family all the very best, and fins up, Goody. Have a great adventure.
Thank you very much.
Cheers, Goody. Fins up.
Cheers.
There you go. That's Andrew Goodman. So, ex-player and coach. He's done really, really well, hasn't he? Especially in his coaching. But I do remember when he was playing as well, and he was a great man for running the ship, wasn't he?
Yes. So
he played at number 10 too, didn't he?
He had played 10. He played 12. He was a goal kicker. He had a running style where he'd run into the opposition and T-bone them.
Yeah.
He was a hard man, a very talented man. But in our club, the Tasman Mako, he's talismanic. He's just got so much mana, and we all respect him. But he's very, very likeable and genuine. So he's just a legend of the club.
Absolutely, Andrew Goodman.
The Mako Rugby Roundup. News, sport, events, and more. It's the Talk of Nelson. Talk Nelson Radio.